Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to Global Hack Week Open Source. I am Wei, and I'm here to present to you an awesome new workshop that we have prepared for you. That is our Meet Your Fifth Teammate Hacking with GitHub Copilot. So welcome everybody. Shoot me a message in the chat. Let me know where you are calling in from. And if you haven't already, be sure to check into the event. We want to make sure everyone gets Global Hack Week points. And that is also highlighted down below. So make sure you register and check in. I will send the link once more. Awesome. Hello, John from Houston. Welcome. I'm actually going to Houston this weekend. Next weekend, I mean. Los Angeles. Excellent. Welcome, y'all. Some of you from YouTube and some of you calling in from India. Excellent. From Twitch, Canada. All right, we got people from all over the world here. Welcome. And just to introduce myself, my name is Wei, a coach here at Major League Hacking. My favorite programming languages are JavaScript and TypeScript. And the fun fact is I've coached almost 30 hackathons, and I have a few more coming up, which I will show at the end of this session. And we have a few more folks here from Peru, Nigeria, Miami, and so many more places. Excellent. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to check in, and you'll receive fast track access to the GitHub Student Developer Pack, which comes with the GitHub Copilot Pro access with free premium models, and you will also have a chance to win some prizes. So definitely check in. Now, learning to use AI throughout your development workflow now is an essential skill, right? And a lot of times in school, maybe your professors aren't allowing you to use AI. Maybe your work is kind of not encouraging the use of AI, but you came to the right place because MLH events, hackathons, global hack weeks, these are the best places for you to experiment and learn new AI skills. And everyone is here to learn. AI changes so fast, so you definitely do not want to miss out. Now, let me know in chat, who knows what GitHub Copilot is? If you have to summarize it in one sentence, or maybe 5 words, like what do you think GitHub Copilot is, if you have heard of it? If you haven't, don't worry, just tell me you're new to learning about Copilot. Awesome, we got some responses in chat. Copilot is an AI-based chatbot in VS Code. Excellent. That is a very good summary. We have some more notes here. Copilot is a coding tool. It's a coding assistant, pair programming tool. Excellent. Hello from Qatar. Welcome. AI LLM to deal with Git and GitHub. Awesome. All very great answers. And I see we just got a few more here. Agentic AI. Awesome. So here is my summary of it. GitHub Copilot is a fully agentic AI pair programmer. It does exactly everything everybody said in chat. It is a coding assistant, pair programming tool, connects to AI LLMs, works with Git and GitHub. It can help you work with those platforms, tools, and you can chat with it. It can help you write, debug, and understand code. So if you think about how far coding with AI has really gone in the last year, just last year in 2024, AI coding with Copilot mostly is like tab completions. It doesn't have full context of your code base just yet. It is pretty unreliable and sometimes returns outdated or soiled code that you really can't use in your projects. But fast forward to today, GitHub Copilot is now fully agentic. It has access to your whole code base, your terminal. It can write quality code. And with the MCP server access, you can actually get so much more functionality with it. And I will actually cover that in my workshop today. All right, and looking at chat here, we have someone new to Copilot. You came to the right place. Thank you for coming. And here is a quick summary. Today, we're going to learn, first, we're going to learn about what is a GitHub profile README. We're going to learn about how to use Copilot coding agent along with the power of GitHub MCP server and my MLH MCP servers to pull live personalized data and use the LLMs to help you craft a personalized README for your GitHub profile. And then we will look into some fun things that we can do with AI, and it can help with customize your profile even further. And if you have any questions whatsoever throughout this session, be sure to ask me any questions in chat. Just ask me anytime, and I will go through the chat here and make sure you get your questions answered. All right, we have a question on how to participate in the challenges. So if you go to the website, GHW.mlh.io, I guess you can go to the direct link /challenges. That's where you will find all the event challenges for Global Hack Week, Open Source Week. So I hope that helps. All right, you are a little new to MCP, but excited to learn. Awesome, you came to the right place. We got some more hackers joining from India. Here is the link for the challenges, and thank you for posting that as well. With that, let's jump into our workshop. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this link here. Let's see, I think this is the full link for the GitHub repo repository here. Let's fork this repository, and actually let's instead of forking, let's click use this template on this repository, and I will send that in the chat here so that you can click on it directly. So this is a plain template for a GitHub profile README, and we're going to click use this template. So for those of you who haven't heard of GitHub profile README, this is essentially your profile on GitHub. So if you go to your user, this is my GitHub account. If you go to your user or github.com/your username, you'll see this page. And usually, like, it doesn't have any profile on the right? There's no profile here. But if you create a special repository and name it, so I'm going to click use this repository template, create a new repository, and if I name it way/way, so essentially the same username as the repository name, a new special repository will be created, and you can add a README to it, which will serve as a public profile, and the profile will actually show up to the right of my user picture here. So we'll go through it together, and we will create a stunning README for your GitHub profile. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click create repository. It should just take a few seconds. So for those of you who haven't gotten a chance to create one, this is a great time to create a profile. And if you already have one, feel free to just use a different name. You can always change it around later if you like what AI is able to create for you. All right, so let's now give me a thumbs up if you're all good to go. I would love to see. You can just type +1 or okay, anything in chat to let me know that we are good to continue. And don't worry, this session will be recorded, so if you need a little bit more time, you can always watch back on YouTube for this recording and follow along afterwards. Awesome, thank you for all the +1 and thumbs ups. I really appreciate it. All right, now the next step is we're going to open up VS Code on our computer. So I'm going to open up my VS Code here, right here, just like this. All right. And we're going to clone the Git repository. So there are a few different ways you can clone your GitHub repository and get it to your local machine. But the easiest way, I'm going to just go through the chat once more so we get more thumbs ups. Thank you so much. What's the step to use the template? Yes, so go to the link I have sent earlier, and I think I can actually click on this and click use this template on the top right here and create a new repository. So hopefully that works for you. Let me know if you have any trouble. All right, we got a lot of thumbs ups. Hey Hillary, welcome to my session. Now, let's click clone Git repository. You can click the button on the left, or you can just click it under the start heading here, clone Git repository. And here's a key step. Make sure you click clone from GitHub. All right, so clone Git repository, clone from GitHub. And then you just need to type in the repository name that you just created. And you should find it from the list. Click on it, and you can select a location for it and just say select as repository destination. And open. So yeah, let me know if anyone has any trouble doing this. All right, question in chat. I already have a repo for the profile. Should I use the one I currently have? You don't have to use the one you currently have. I recommend just making a new one. You don't have to name it the same. You can say testing profile or something like that, and you can continue to follow along with us. If you like what AI Copilot is able to generate for you, then you can copy it over to your primary and go from there. Hope that helped. Okay, so while everybody's getting that set up, let's talk about MCP servers real quick. So if you go to the left here, under the extensions panel, you'll see a list of installed extensions, but VS Code has actually added a new section called MCP servers. All right, so what is a MCP server, you might ask? So let me just give you a quick, maybe a 2-minute rundown of why they exist, what they do, and how you can use them. If you think about AI large language models, they are all trained up to a certain deadline. So for example, some of the models that we have here, maybe Gemini 2.5 Pro, this is trained up until January 2025, which means the model itself does not have any knowledge of any happenings after January 2025. Well, in addition to that, even if it did, it wouldn't have information that are private to you or your company or your school, right? It wouldn't know about your private GitHub accounts. It wouldn't know your resume or your portfolio. So MCP servers, they are a great way to bridge the gap. So they essentially give large language models access to private information, up-to-date information, and to take action on information. So I hope that kind of explains roughly, you have a rough idea of what MCP servers do. And now let's actually jump in and install a couple MCP servers and see them in action. All right, very good question from chat here. What is the difference between MCP servers and APIs? Great question. So you can think of MCP servers as standardized APIs for large language models, AI agents. So it's a standardized way to standardized API. You can think of it like that. Because if you think about APIs, right, different platforms have different APIs. They all have different signatures. They have different authentication. MCP servers, is a standardized way that agents can access essentially APIs directly without having to worry about those differences. All right. So let's continue. Feel free to drop any additional questions in chat. And as I mentioned, this video will be recorded, so feel free to watch back after. So if you're new to VS Code, just make sure you upgrade to the latest version of VS Code so that you have all the latest features, including MCP servers. So on the left here, you can see here, we have a button to enable MCP servers marketplace. All right, this is a brand new feature that's currently in preview. So we're going to click on it right now to enable it. Okay, and from here, you can see a collage of well-tested, battle-tested, like official MCP servers from all kinds of developers on this list, right? So these are all very, very useful. They do a ton of things. If you're interested to actually learn more, come to my hands-on with MCP servers stream in, I think, 2.5 hours. So we will actually dive into maybe 4 or 5 if we have time, different MCP servers, and try to use them in your agentic coding workflow. So for this demo here, we're going to first install GitHub MCP server. So if we click on it, you'll see some description of what this MCP server does. It connects AI tools directly to GitHub's platform, and it will give AI agents ability to read repo, read files, even manage issues, PRs, and a ton of amazing, resources on GitHub will be exposed to the AI agent. And going back to the chat question, of course, you can hit different GitHub APIs to do all these things, but having everything in a centralized MCP server makes it super easy for agents to know exactly what are the available options that GitHub MCP servers provide, and what are some different actions the AI agents can take. All right. So we're going to click install here. And if it's your first time, if you haven't authenticated with GitHub, it might ask you to authenticate. I'm going to click allow and just select my account here. Since I'm already logged into VS Code, it's able to recognize that my GitHub account is authenticated, and it got me right in. So we'll give everybody a couple minutes to get that set up. All right, we have a question here. How do we connect Gmail, Slack, and GitHub to MCP server? So you can see we just installed the GitHub MCP server. You can look for more servers from this list and just click install. We'll go through some more examples in my stream in 2.5 hours. Agentic APIs, exactly. You can definitely think of MCP servers as agentic APIs. And I will actually show you. So we just installed the GitHub MCP server. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you that they're installed by clicking on this icon to the bottom right here. So follow my mouse, bottom right here. All right, you see some tools, and I'm going to collapse some of these options, built-in options here, and you can see MCP server, GitHub MCP server was enabled, right? And if I expand, you can see all the available, the term is tool call, all the available tools the MCP server has exposed to our LLM, to our AI. And you can see things like you can add an issue comment, you can assign Copilot to an issue, you can create issue, create pull request, read files, fork repos. So tons of amazing things that you can interact with GitHub using AI. So all these tools are available and exposed to AI to use. All right, so here's a question for chat. Now I installed my GitHub MCP server. What question should I ask my Copilot to see if it has access to my GitHub account? What's a good question? Let me know in chat. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to think about it. Maybe 30 seconds to think about it. What question should I ask our AI? All right, we got quite a few messages in chat here. We can ask it to check out the repository or a branch actually. Check out a branch. We can ask it how many repos does a user have. We we can ask it to read README, ask about a repo, and yeah, read files. So we have a lot of great options. I'm going to pick the first one here. What repos does a user have? So I'm just going to ask it, what GitHub repos does Wei have? All right, and here I'm using the Gemini 2.5 Pro model. Feel free to use any other model of your choice. And right now, as you can see on screen here, the Copilot is now thinking, like, what is the best tool that GitHub MCP server has for us that can answer this question? So it's taking a little bit of time because we have a ton of tools here. So ideally, like, you should uncheck the tools that you don't need to declutter a little bit. But for the purpose of this demo, we'll just let it work. All right, and just like that, it found the right tool, run search repositories tool using user Wei. And just like that, it's able to identify all the public repositories that I have under my account. So this is how I know that the LLM was able to successfully call the GitHub MCP server to fetch the information. I highly doubt Gemini knows the projects I've been working on. So this is a very good comprehensive list from the GitHub MCP server tool. All right, so we got a few other questions, or sorry, suggestions here. How many repos I have? Yep, it's kind of what I asked. Okay, are there any pros and cons of using different LLMs with Copilot? Different LLMs have different capabilities and personalities. Definitely try them out and see which one works for you the best. And new models come out like very, very quickly. Sonnet 4.5 and GPT-5 Codex were just released in the last couple weeks. So definitely try all of them and see which one you like the best. And the best part about having GitHub Student Developer Pack along with the Copilot Pro premium models subscription, you get access to all these models, and they cost the same, basically 1x of your credit. So will it only be able to get public repos or private as well? Great question. It will be able to get private repositories as well because you authenticated with your personal GitHub account and gave it permission to read your private repos as well. So I'm not going to show that right now, but you will be able to access basically everything that you can do on github.com under your user account. All right, another question. Is it always the best to use newer models or sometimes older models function better? My experience is for the most part, newer models perform a lot better. So I'd highly recommend you just trying them out and see for yourself. Thank you for your question. All right, can you use MCP to generate an image for code, maybe a logo? You actually can. I don't know if I'll have time to demo it today, but you definitely can. Some of these models have multimodal support, meaning it will be able to read as well as output different modals, so different types of like text, even video and audio and pictures. Awesome. So let's keep going. All right, one last question before we keep going. Which model is best for making a full stack app? A lot of these models are great for it, so I wouldn't just say one. You can definitely try out Sonnet 4.5, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and GPT-5 Codex. Those are the three I recommend you check out. How is it better than APIs? So if you're working with the GitHub API, like you have to read their documentation. AI will have to maybe write some code, maybe some Python code. You have to authenticate, and then you have to run that file to integrate with the GitHub API. But with the power of MCP server, AI can connect with the GitHub servers directly and perform actions. So that's the advantage. Copilot Pro, how much does it cost? Copilot Pro is free with GitHub Student Developer Pack. They also have a free tier if you're ineligible for Copilot for GitHub Student Developer Pack. All right, last question before we continue, because we do only have 25 minutes left. If we want to create embedded system projects, yep. Okay, so you can actually try out Copilot command line. They just released Copilot CLI that you can use directly in your terminal instead of using the VS Code extension. All right, is it capable to read multiple files? Is there a bottleneck of context window? Yes, it is able to read multiple files, a lot more files than you can imagine, actually, sometimes whole projects. A lot of the context window is restricted by the model provider. Gemini 2.5 Pro has the most context window as far as I'm aware. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So you can definitely try that. And Copilot also does some optimization to make sure it does not exceed the context window through various methods behind the scenes. All right, we have a lot of questions here, so maybe we'll save them till the end because I do need to keep going and get this workshop wrapped up in 25 minutes. So now we have GitHub MCP server and we verified the GitHub MCP server is working. If we look at our slides here, we're going to set up my MLH MCP server as well. So by coming to this event, you probably already have a my.mlh account, and I'm going to log into it right now. So you just go to my.mlh.io, go to my.mlh.io to log in. So it looks like my internet is a little bit slow right now, so I'm hoping it picks back up. All right. Okay, finally. So I'm going to put in my Major League Hacking email address and click sign in. This is going to send me a 6-digit code to authenticate into my MLH account. All right, and it's 60403, and the code cannot be reused, so you don't have to try to hack me. All right, now, as you can see here, this is my MLH profile, and there's education, there's work experience, and if I have attended some events, they'll show up here. For this demo, I'm going to just add another work experience, MLH fellowship, perfect, and I'll put open source fellow, and I will put something like, I think September 2020 to December 2020, something like that, and click save. All right, and just like that, I now have my education and work experience. This essentially serves as my resume, right? And let me now head back over to VS Code. So the way we're going to install the second my MLH MCP server is using this file. So you can see in the project, there is a .vs code directory, and I'm actually going to rename this file to mcp.json so that Copilot can recognize it. And once I have renamed it, you can see and open this file. You can see there are some MCP servers defined, and in this case, this is the my.mlh MCP server. I'm going to click start to start the my.mlh MCP server. So I can click the start button right here. This is another way to install MCP servers on VS Code. All right, I'm going to hit allow to authenticate myself. And I'm going to, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Let me sign out and sign in one more time. All right, so for you, it should pop up something like this. My MLH MCP server is requesting access, VS Code is requesting access to grant my MLH MCP server some permissions. So I'm going to click approve and open. So just like that, I have successfully authenticated to my MLH MCP server as well. Okay. Welcome to the stream. If you joined late, feel free to go on YouTube and you can rewind and start from the beginning. The recording will also be available in the future. Did I type start? I did not type start. The start button showed up right here between line 2 and 3, and I clicked it. How did I open that folder? So I basically clicked on .vs code here and renamed the mcp.json file. All right, now what is the question I can ask my MLH MCP server? Like, how do I know if it's working? Does anybody have any suggestions? So if you look at my MLH profile, it has my education, my work experience. Kind of like my resume, right? So we have in the chat here, read my work history, events I have participated. Yeah, I'm going to go with read my work history. That sounds good. And let's see if it works. I'm going to just say like from my MLH MCP because I also have put some of that information on my GitHub profile. I don't want it to get confused. So I'm going to say read my work history from my MLH MCP. All right, and just like that, since it's my first time running this, I'm going to click allow. So you can see our Copilot is able to identify that it needs this tool call, my MLH get user, in order to read my MLH user profile. Okay, excellent. So just like that, you can see it was able to read my profile, MLH Fellowship and Coach here at MLH. All right. Now, with both MCP servers set up, GitHub MCP server and my MLH MCP server, I'm going to head over to readme.md. So you can see README has a template of a GitHub profile README. It is currently commented out, but don't worry. I'm going to start a new session just to keep everything fresh. I'm going to click the plus button right here on the top right and open a new chat. Okay. And just for fun, I'm going to switch over to Claude Sonnet 4.5 preview. Just try out different models, right? And I'm going to just type in, create a GitHub profile README using data from my GitHub and my MLH profiles. All right, just like that, it's able to identify the GitHub MCP tool to get my user profile. It's also able to identify that it needs to call my MLH get user, which is the my MLH MCP server tool. Now, with information from both MCP servers, it's now doing some additional lookup to see what are some starred repositories like I'm interested in, because in the README template here, it has a section for interests. So it was smart enough to identify that and ran another tool call to check like what are some repos that I have previously starred. And in just like 30 seconds or so, it's able to create a very nice sample README here, profile README here. You can see different sections, an intro section, about me section, what I'm currently working on, tech stack, recently started projects. These are some projects that I have been looking at. And a Let's Connect section. So a lot of great information here. I'm going to click Keep because I want to see what it looks like. So if you want to preview a README MD file, this is a markdown file in VS Code, you can click this button on the top right. Okay, this button on the top right here to open a preview. And I can drag it over to see it full screen. So this is what AI was able to generate for me. It created some badges, a README section, about me section, what I'm working on, tech stack, recently started projects, my GitHub stats even, with most used languages. Looks like I wrote a lot of CSS last year for some reason. And Let's Connect section. So you'll see some contact information there. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you like what Copilot was able to accomplish in just 30 seconds or so. Hi, Ryan. Thank you for the comment. Excellent. Yeah, if you can't find thumbs up, just do a +1. That's probably easier, to be honest. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Thank you for the chats. Next, I'm actually going to enhance this just a little bit more to show you the power of Copilot. So in addition to connecting to MCP servers, Copilot can also access the web directly. So I'm going to, for those of you who don't already know, MLH has a website called mlh.io/events. And that page has all the events MLH is hosting, is partnering with for the 2026 season. So these are all the events that are currently on the schedule. There's a ton of them. So I am an MLH coach. So I want to kind of add some of those events onto my profile. So I can say something like, I am coaching Code Red, Astra, and Night Hacks this month. Please add that information to my profile, including links, location, dates, pull information from mlh.io/events. So just like that, I'm going to wait a little bit, and you can see Copilot is able to identify that URL, and I'm going to allow fetching of the URL. It will then go out, grab all the events from the page, look up Code Red, Astra, and Night Hacks, and it's currently formulating some verbiage here to add to my profile. And in just about 30 seconds or so, it's able to do all that and add that to my profile. So if anyone's in Houston, Texas, I know we have somebody in chat there, or Orlando, be sure to come to one of our MLH member event hackathons. All right, we got a few more thumbs ups and +1s. Thank you so much. All right, so someone commented, looks like I have too many tools selected. Yeah, so if there are too many tools selected, just you can reduce the number of tools here to only the ones you need. So that is the button, tool button on the bottom right. It's actually hidden behind my comment here. So make sure you click this button right here. And be sure to use a premium model for that, because a lot of these free models have very small context window and isn't able to identify all the tools and pick the right ones. I'm so glad to hear MCP is debunked in your head. Thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Oh, that is a great comment. So when you are using these models, in order for the AI agent, Copilot agent, to use the LLM models agentically, like to use tool calls, to fetch web pages, to run commands, you need to make sure it is in agent mode. So there are 3 modes here: agent, ask, edit. Make sure agent mode is selected. So thank you so much for that comment. All right, looks like it's already agent mode. So just make sure you select the premium model as well. Oh, you will be at Code Red. That's awesome. Please come say hi to me and tell me that you came from the stream. All right, well, the new edition populated into GitHub profile will have to be pushed. So it will have to be pushed. I have not pushed anything just yet. Everything is just on my computer. If you go to my GitHub profile right now, you will see nothing. So if I go refresh the repo, there's nothing. And if I go to my homepage, there's nothing. It's just blank. So we will have to commit and push it. We'll do it shortly right here. Thumbs up. Yes, so you can use MCP servers with other tools as well, for sure. They all have their each like different configurations and documentation. Just go through them and you should be good. What if try to find it if you're not a robot question? There are some ways around it. So come to my next MCP server workshop, hands-on with MCP, in 2 hours, and I will show you. Spec kit. We don't have time to cover spec kit on this stream. So I hope you ask that question on Discord. Maybe someone else can answer that and provide you with some more resources. What is the time for the next class? So that is in 2 hours and 10 minutes. If you go to the Global Hack Week schedule, here you will be able to see that event and register for it. So it's this one right here. So right now we're running this one, Intro to Agent Mode in GitHub Copilot, and the next one I'm running is Hands-on with MCP Service Part 1. Between these 2 sessions, you will hang out with Vincent, who is one of our newest and brightest streamers, and he will be talking about open source and the cloud. No event in Colorado yet. Maybe it's time for you to start one. All right, so we have about 10 minutes left. So let's go ahead and push this. There are a few different ways, right? You can commit and push. If you're new to Git, like you might want to use AI to help you with this task. And AI is perfect for this, right? So I'm going to say commit all changes and push. All right, so AI is going to look in our working directory here, look at all the files that we have created and modified, and it's asking us to run some commands. So you can see AI now is asking us to add all the files to our staging area, staging all the files. And you can see the command was add. All the files are now in staged changes section, you can see here. And then AI is also suggesting us to create a commit message using the git commit command. That all looks good. And you can see on the left here, the commit has been created. Boom. And then lastly, Copilot is asking us to run git push, which we will allow. And just like that, done. All right, if we now go back to my GitHub profile and refresh, you will see a beautiful summary about me, what I'm working on, events I'm coaching, Code Red Astra, definitely check it out. And Night Hacks, definitely check it out. I think applications are still open, so you might still have time to register and come down to Orlando, Florida. All right, and yeah, and some of the additional things that we saw in our local copy of this repo. With that, this is your last chance to check into this event and receive fast-tracked access to GitHub Student Developer Pack, Copilot Pro with premium model access directly at this link. Okay. All right, now we have a question in chat. Can it resolve merge conflicts intelligently? It can definitely help with merge conflicts. I've actually used it for that purpose. It doesn't always work 100%, but it gets you like most of the way there. So definitely try it out if you have troubles with merge conflicts. Especially in a real world project where you have build processes and code formatting, linting set up, it's able to really like identify all that, make sure everything passes tests and everything when resolving merge conflicts. All right. Thank you so much for reposting the checking link. I will send it again once more from my side as well, so folks on YouTube can also check in. All right, so let's do a quick recap here. Today we learned about GitHub Copilot. We signed up for GitHub Student Developer Pack and learned about how to get Copilot Pro with premium LLM model access. We created a GitHub profile README, downloaded it to our computer, Git cloned it, used AI to set up or connect to GitHub MCP server and my MLH MCP server. And lastly, we asked AI to customize our GitHub profile README, and we used AI, Copilot AI, to push our changes onto GitHub as well. So we accomplished all of that within an hour. So I'm super proud of myself and everybody here. Now, if you would like to check in, this is the check-in link one more time. And I'm happy to answer any questions for the next few minutes. But if you have some time, definitely check out the next streams and be sure to fill out the Global Hack Week survey right here at this link. I would really appreciate it. You can tell me what you liked about the session and what are some improvements that we can make for future iterations. With that, let's jump into some questions. I'm trying to get Student Developer Pack access, but it's not allowing. So if you have trouble, definitely reach out to us on our Discord server and someone will be able to assist you further. I see the Claude model often loses context for large projects. Any suggestions? Yes. So definitely use agents.md feature. So if you haven't heard of agents.md, this is the file you can add to your repository that will have everything an agent needs to know about your project. So this will serve as the rule of thumb or the general constitution of your project. All right. This will definitely help with the context. And then another tip I have is make sure you select a new chat session for each feature and don't keep using the same chat for different features. All right, we have some suggestions from the chat on how to complete the verification. You can click the link in this check-in link. There's a direct link to submit your GitHub Student Developer Pack application. All right, let's keep going down the list here. All right, there are some more tips on how to set up that process. Thank you for your claps. Where can I learn more about volunteering at MLH? You can volunteer on Discord. If anyone has any questions, you can jump in to help. You can also volunteer at our member event hackathons. So if you have any, if you go on our website and see any event you're interested in, you can reach out to the organizers and say, can I volunteer at your event? Do I need to be on campus to get fast track? So I think GitHub has location validation So you can try it, and if there are any issues, you can always upload some of your documents and see if they can approve it. All right. Pretty quick. All right, thank you everybody for helping each other out in chat. All right, with that, if there are no more questions, here is the next event, which I just showed, open source and the cloud. So this event is happening right after this one, and it's with Vincent, one of our great streamers on the topic of open source and the cloud. And right after that, in 2 hours of time, come to my session. Again, we're going to get really hands-on with MCP servers. We will likely install and try out 4 or 5 of them from this list here, just to see how you can work with them in a real-world project or real-world use cases. With that, thank you so much, everybody, for your kind words in chat. If you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to me or anybody else on the MLH Discord server general chat for Open Source Week, and we'll love to chat with you. And if you want to stick around, please do, and come to my workshop in 2 hours, and we can chat a little bit more. With that, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.